yeah, I mean, I just want to echo what Chris said. Thank you to Aaron for all of your work and editing our stuff and believing in our work. And yeah, it's been so cool to see how much Broken Sleep has grown and like how much exciting work continues to be put out. So thank you. And yeah, thank you, Chris, for reading. That was awesome. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna read from Laughing Plastic, obviously. And yeah, I'm gonna read, so Laughing Plastic, if you aren't familiar with it, is kind of three sort of types of poems. One sort of type is from like sort of like an I speaker like me, but like not me. And then some are sort of related to like a Ken doll and some are related to like a Barbie doll. So just some background in case you're not familiar. But okay, so I'll just kind of get started. So this is the first poem in the collection. Poem for when my father comments on my leg hair, or when my mother sends me issues of Southern Lady, which is a magazine, or when Jocelyn at CVS hands me tea and needles and then calls me ma'am. Ma'am, like the word, more it's said out loud, the truer it becomes. Lady like a correction, girl like a wish, when actually I am a knotted silk sheet cascading from a balcony into a manhole. A lilac teacup made of zippers, a vinyl quail egg, a frozen cylinder of concentrated grape juice, a cartoon crate of dynamite, sleeping hands clutching at air to relieve the buzzing, spinal cord Ouroboros. Check my IDs. My driver's license says sex, mangrove pneumatophores. My passport says sex, hawk with lime green beak wearing two backwards hats. I say sex, church wine tampon. I say sex, Ken and Barbie smoothie. Sex, one-man orgy. Sex, taxidermist. But they don't allow those gender markers here yet. Jocelyn, I grew up in a house with a Bible in every drawer and a shotgun around every corner. I wake each morning lifted by flames, body rope burned and raw. I am alive, discount meat, saran wrapped and holy. All right, so this is the first kind of Ken-ish poem. It's called Beheading Dr Ken. I used to pop off the head of my Dr. Ken doll and run to my father crying for him to put it back on. He would get so irritated and I thought it was so hilarious, and I kept beheading Dr. Ken and kept running to my father until one day he refused to put Dr. Ken's head back on. And I laughed and laughed, this sharp pataphysical laughter, and closed my eyes and my body snapped shut like a safety pin, my chin to my knees. And I held Dr. Ken's naked torso in one hand and squeezed his smiling head in the other so hard when I let go, his face was imprinted in my palm. All right. This next one is called Phantom Head Syndrome, kind of getting deeper into Ken territory here. All right, Phantom Head Syndrome. The sensation that the amputated head is still attached, but lighter, tingling, ephemeral, a hot breath or dandelion puff, eyes somewhere permanently open to sharp pains and vague hallucinations, only shapes and textures, not a single psychic vision or kaleidoscopic blast of sublimity, just a triangle quietly becoming a pear, tongue, vulva, and black static. All right. This next one is called Still Cool. When Headless Ken was Dr. Ken, his signature outfit was a one-piece tux, debonair as fuck yet functional and even Velcroed together. For easy access, am I right? He used to joke, and the other Kens would laugh and slap his back, and he'd slurp his dirty martini through his teeth, and he never stopped smiling. Now he usually sports a fluffy magenta lei and swim trunks with an angelfish print. In his left hand, a full blue daiquiri garnished with an umbrella piercing a maraschino cherry. It's been so hot. His tiki glass is melting. The cherry glues to his thumb. Luckily, at the zenith of his chiseled neck, the spherical tanned nub, still cool. All right. Next one. The burial of Headless Ken. RIP to Headless Ken. All right, I sealed all my Ked relics in one of those sterilite storage tubs, a Tupperware that keeps fresh anything you'd want to hide under your bed. Mine was full of bodies, hair tangled in legs, tangled in unbending arms, mascaraed blue and green eyes peering through the wreckage of a dream house, and smashed tubes of lip smackers and point shoes. I hauled it all to the dumpster behind the public pool, but I sheathed Ken in my pocket out of respect. Once graveside, I transferred him and his medical bag into a Sharpie-inscribed cardboard box lined with tissues, the aloe and lotion kind. To my knowledge, he wasn't a religious man, wouldn't have wanted much fanfare, but still, I said a prayer and dropped my gold-plated crucifix necklace into his casket, in case. The funeral. Ken is all head, all coral lips and trim eyebrows, cheekbones and cleft chin, all Malibu and sparkle. He levitates above his watermelon couch, and the lavender TV loops footage of a funeral, all calla lily and blazers, snotty faces and hymnals, vodka and endless handshakes, circling silver platters of cucumber sandwiches, and then a dangerous close-up of the coffin opening. And right when he's about to see who's dead, the film begins again. All right. This next one is called Paradise. Ken imagines himself dangling from the sky on a golden thread of a tassel over a Baroque hotel, slimy Pepto-Bismol exterior, puckered sunburned lips, white-lined windows, scattered bones poking from the flattened flesh of a hatchling on a sidewalk. You catch him floating yonder in his glass canoe, pulled along the shore by roseate spoonbills, past a trailer park atop a roaring waterfall, past a mailbox shaped like a manatee, and a giant cake cone of strawberry soft serve. He'd be there bleeding, fingers sticking, and there'd be the sunset, swirling molten tongues, roiling clouds and sediment and starfish, licking everyone else into the riptide. Okay, this next one is swim at your own risk. Headless Ken is no longer permitted inside the pool during business hours. The lifeguard yells something like, "Hey, no diving," and the mist from a splash reminds Ken of the supple, angry touch of a pruned hand encircling his waist and throwing him into the boxwood. But he persists, propped outside the fence, grasping chain link in one hand and wantonly poking his drink through one of the diamond-shaped holes. If I had a mouth and a whistle, would I blow it? All right, just gonna do a couple more. All right, where's this next one? Okay. All right, this next one is called Headlessness. I'm walking through a park. I follow a trail behind the tennis courts and peer into a grate above an abandoned subway station. And there's an infinite pink and white chessboard stretching across the tracks, so I lie flat to get a better look. And each of the pawns is a glittering headless Ken, and I feel something cold on the back of my neck. And I turn and my head just twists off and rolls down the hill. And right before it hits the river, a sedan-sized plastic hand emerges and volleys it into a milkweed patch near my body, and a sparrow pecking at the peel of a quartered lime. And as my neck blood coagulates into a forward point collar, two monarch caterpillars drop onto my eyes and begin to pupate. All right, do one Barbie poem and then one more, and then we're done. All right, so this one is called The Barbie Slasher. It's summer and these cool teens are at a party. It's this one girl's birthday. You can tell from the blurry balloons and tiered cake in the background. She chugs what is implied to be vodka, and there's this soft flashback to when she was a little girl. It was her birthday. She got angel face Barbie and was so happy. Innocent, wholesome, or whatever. And now she's covered in glitter and dancing suggestively to generic club music, which screeches, and suddenly everyone's in slow motion for a few seconds. The camera zooms in, and nestled in the shiny pile of gifts is the same Barbie from before, except she's like evil now, as evidenced by her red eyes peering around menacingly. People start getting slashed. There's blood all over the guy whose parents are in Cabo for the weekend's house, and eventually everyone escapes or dies, except the birthday girl, who was a primary target all along, but has somehow survived. She limps around the dark and silent mansion, and when she enters the kitchen, she encounters Barbie wielding a sharpened stiletto heel. She grabs a knife and screams. They fight and finally stab each other. It's unclear who wins because the screen blacks out. and then flashes forward to when the paramedics arrive. The camera pans first to the girl waking up on a stretcher, then to Barbie decapitated. One red eye twitches. Ah, okay. All right, final poem. And this is also the last one in the chapbook. This is called, oops, just kidding, that's not the one. Okay, The Puppet Show. I'm in that scene in The Sound of Music. Julie Andrews and the kids are putting on a musical marionette show for Daddy Von Trapp and his fiance and me. The show is about a goat herd attracting this Mädchen by yodeling. There's also a parallel story about two straight goats who have a kid. At the climax, when Julie's singing so hard she looks panicked, I become a little goat flapping at the bottom of the strings. And there's Judith Butler, not the real one, but the black and white author photo version, operating the control bars. And far below us, where the stage used to be, is the ocean, a breaching grand piano filled with a choir of screeching Ken dolls. I cut the silk strands from my scapula with an I Heart New York pocket knife and awake with a mouthful of silt. I roll over to check my phone. Google Translate is open. I type in sex pupa, sex doll, then I paste sex doll on the English side, Geschlechtspuppe, literally gender puppet. I swim to the tattoo shop and a sea urchin etches this into my chest, needling through the bones. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for being here, all of you, and for Aaron and everyone else for coming. Thank you.